Welcome back to beautiful Astoria, Oregon, and this is a strange year to say the least. I think we can all agree on that. From everything that's happened this year, not just from the pandemic, but also with our fisheries here locally, it has been a struggle to say the least. And this year we've had a completely different schedule than what we've seen over the last couple decades, where usually Buoy 10 opens up on August 1st. That did not happen this year. This year it is opening up tomorrow on the 14th and only going through the 27th. And so it's a little bit different year for these Buoy 10 updates too. What I'm going to do here today is just kind of give you real basic information because we have no data to pull from yet. The best thing that you can do right now if you're going out fishing tomorrow or even throughout this really short season, 2-week season, is go back over our last 5 years. We have 5 years now of these Buoy 10 updates and go through them and figure out exactly what tide we're on right now. We're on a smaller tide. Tides have been falling. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But find that exact same tide set that we're on right now over the last 5 years and see those reports, see where I was fishing, see what gear was working. That is your best diary, your best logbook that you can utilize for planning to come down here and fish, whether it's tomorrow or later on in the season. But what we'll do here right now is kind of talk about tides and my personal plan for tomorrow. Tides right now, anytime you get a full moon or a new moon, you get the biggest tide. So a larger exchange, 7 to 9 foot. Right now we are in between those big sets, so it just came off of a high and has been falling, and they're just tomorrow going to start growing just a little bit. And so right now we really have these small tides, 3-4 foot exchanges, and that could either be really good or it can make fishing very tough. So tomorrow's going to be a total crapshoot. It's going to be a little bit difficult to find these fish because when this does happen on these smaller tides, the fish can spread out. And we don't know yet if there are new fish that are coming in. We don't know if there's a big group that came in on the last falling tides, which Chinook tend to show up on those falling tides. We don't know if they're staged up in the lower section down near Hammond or Chinook, or on a small tide set like this. Tongue point can usually be really, really good. But we just don't know. And that's part of the fun, is coming out here trying to figure out this fishery. Even with all the years of experience between myself and the other guides that I talk with, it doesn't mean anything. And I'll say this again. I know we talk about it every single year in these reports, but the reality is these reports cannot help you all that much. They're just kind of a recap, a day-to-day, a play-by-play of Buoy 10, the Super Bowl of salmon fishing, right? These fish on each tide exchange can move 10, 15, 20 miles. So if I give you information right now and say, hey, they're catching them at the bridge right there, guess what? By the time you get there in your boat from right here in the marina to that bridge, they're probably gone. So the information that I give you here today may not be relevant tomorrow, but it gives you at least a starting point. So for me, for tomorrow, I'm going to start out by fishing. It's going to be an incoming tide in the morning. I'm going to fish all bait. I had really great success on the spin fish last year, and I do plan on using those, but because it's an incoming tide, I prefer to fish bait. I'm going to start with the stuff I know for sure they're going to eat, which is anchovy. And then as soon as I start finding the fish, maybe on the outgoing tide, I'll switch over to spin fish and spinners. But right now on the incoming tide, I'm just going to cover ground and fish nothing but anchovies tomorrow morning and see what happens. It's going to be definitely chasing cell phone bites, chasing each other around, looking for nets flying. It's going to be a lot of fun trying to figure out what these fish are doing. So make sure you guys tune in here each day. I'll have a lot more information, go through gear, tides, what we saw on the first day here as we go throughout this short season. Just again, 14 days, 15 days, I guess, 14th through the 27th. So it's a real short Buoy 10 season. In years past, I've done about 45 of these updates in a season. This year, it's going to be just 14, 15 of them. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. Here we go, another 2020 Buoy 10 update. I can't wait for tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. These fish should be here. If they have not seen a bait, they should chew. So make sure you guys check us out tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Oh, and shameless plug, our last episode of Day One Outdoors TV airs tonight. So make sure you put on your DVR because you should be down here fishing. So you may not see it actually live tonight. So set that DVR for our last episode of Day One Outdoors TV. And we will see you tomorrow, hopefully with a great report of lots of salmon caught. Later.